You know, I make this a million times and realize I haven't actually put it on my channel. So, I'm going to show you guys how I make pizza. Now, I am on the FODMAP diet. Very, very complicated. Today I'm finding out whether or not I can have chickpeas. Everything else in this has been vetted as either no trigger or a low trigger. May not be the case for you, but since I'm slightly intolerant to gluten, I found that I can use naan bread, and it's not as bad as pizza crust. And it tastes better. Call me crazy. Okay, so, yes, miss. We have our naan bread. So the first step, I should have opened this first, I apologize. First step is the chickpeas that I'm testing today. Now, when I was trying to eat healthy, I would use chickpeas as my spread anyway. Well, hummus. And this is plain hummus. It's not garlicky. There's no red peppers, as you can see. No asparagus or, oh, what's that fancy hummus that they make? It's got some sort of green in it, and I can't remember. It might be asparagus, but asparagus is a trigger for me. So set that aside. Next, we have a chicken. Now, this is a rotisserie chicken because I have found locally that the Sam's Club rotisserie chicken is cheaper than the raw chicken anywhere. So I buy a rotisserie chicken and then I pull it apart for whatever purpose I'm going to use it. I think I'll give that to the cat. There you go. So you can have big chunks, you can have small chunks. I personally do very small chunks. Well, not very small, but I practically shred it because I don't enjoy the veins that were in the animal. So I found that if I use small pieces, I can pull out the veins that I'm not going to show you because that's just gross. But I can pull them out before they get in my food. And I can freeze whatever I don't use from the chicken. Now this is going to have a lot of protein because it's got chicken, it's got hummus, and it's going to have cheese. Now you can change this up however you like. I think I got it. You can leave off the mushrooms, you can leave off the alfalfa sprouts, and I know that most of you will, but hear me out. Sorry. When you put alfalfa sprouts with cheese, the alfalfa sprouts become this gooey, tasty, stringy awesomeness that's almost like, you know, when you get a really good piece of pizza and you get that good pull, I think they call it, you know, where the cheese just follows you as you pull away from it. Alfalfa sprouts just do that naturally because they're already stringy. So you get, even if your cheese doesn't melt to that point, you still get that effect. So I like to use alfalfa sprouts anytime there's going to be cheese. And I have also found that, you know, the hummus and the chicken, they get really, really intense together. They have this really, really burning hot relationship that just kind of overwhelms your mouth. So I have found that putting something green with, with anything that has, you know, heavy components like that, really, it gives your mouth a break from all the, here you go, all the intense flavors that you're throwing at it. Anything green will do. If you can have broccoli or broccolini, by all means, put that in whatever you've got with chicken in it. because I had a rice dinner. Now I know none of you are going to do this. It was rice, broccoli, and some sort of poultry. I don't know. I pulled it out of the chicken, pulled it out of the freezer, and could have been either chicken or turkey because I did both. Water. Let's not do that. Sorry, I'm saying a lot. Gotta rinse my hands because they're all chickeny now. Because the next step is the sprouts. And I know, like I said, most of you may choose to leave this off, and that's fine. You can take it or leave it. It is up to you. And I like a fair amount of them, partly because when you buy alfalfa sprouts, they tend to go bad rather more quickly than I like. So I tend to use them on just about everything to get the most out of it before it goes bad. And I've found that where it goes bad is the bottom. So, oh, that might be just enough. For me, personally, as I said, you can take it or leave it, and I know most of you will leave it. But if you have digestive issues, microgreens, which is what these are easier to digest than full-on sprouted greens, which is what lettuce and broccoli and all of that is considered. And again, should have opened this first, but I didn't because I decided spur of the moment that I was going to do this. And I'm going to have to freeze these because even though I just bought them, they're kind of turning, and that's a little too thick. So we're going to do the thinnest ones we can find. And I found that the sliced ones were like 60 cents cheaper than the whole ones. And because they're sliced, they take up more room in the package. So you get more bang for your buck. Handy little tip there. And I can only handle a little bit of mushroom. So even though I love mushrooms, I cannot have that many. And we're trying to find out if the hummus will be a trigger. So we're not going to do too much mushroom. We have to wash our hands again. Well, not wash, just rinse, I think. Just long enough to get like the spooge of the mushroom off of your fingers. Then we have the cheese, which I also didn't open beforehand. Sorry about that. I don't have very good hands, so I'm going to use scissors to get that open. Even though it is perforated, I have arthritis and tendinitis, and that perforation isn't quite enough. So I have to cut it, unfortunately. And then comes the cheese. Now I can have cheese, this kind of cheese anyway. So I am going to load it on top. Now the point of this video isn't to find out whether or not I can have hummus, so I'm not going to cover that. But I just want to show you how I make pizza using naan bread. You can also do this with pita. Flat outs make a pizza crust, but it can occasionally be difficult to find. That hit the counter. So, and I will, for the thumbnail, have a picture of the finished pita pizza, as I call it, even though this one's made with naan bread. I would put more cheese on it, but because there's so many toppings, it'll just roll right off. The rest of my evening, oh yes, always squeeze the air out before you close things. Makes them last longer. So there's my pizza. The rest of my evening is going to be spent picking out the mostly good mushrooms and freezing them, shredding the chicken and freezing that. But here is my finished creation.